What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into NXT from April the 16th, 2024. A very solid and fun show. We are building towards spring break-in next week. It's going to be a 2-week event, televised event. Usually NXT does fairly well in the ratings for these types of shows, and for the next couple weeks should be no exception at all. So the ratings should be up for the next 2 weeks when it comes to NXT. But NXT is very good. It's actually one of my favorite wrestling shows of the entire week, if we're being honest. So we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. Noam Dar defeated Dijak with the help of Oro Mensah. Oro Mensah got involved in the match towards the end of it. He ate a super kick for his troubles, and this allowed for Noam Dar to capitalize with the Nova Roller for the 1, 2, 3. Great stuff. I think what they're going to do with Dijak, they're going to end up calling him up. I expect him, Tony D, and the family. Who else would be drafted? Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes. I think those are going to be the ones that are going to get called up for sure. Moving on. So, speaking of Ilya Dragunov, he walks into Ava Rain's office. Dragunov says that spring break-in will be Trick Williams' final night in NXT. So, Ava doesn't want Dragunov to have the night off, so he's going to have an open challenge. Dijak wants Ava to remind the locker room that whoever decides to meet him eye to eye will have an opportunity to face themselves against the Mad Dragon. Nice. Ilya Dragunov is going to kick major ass on the main roster. Where he goes, it'll probably be Monday Night Raw for the most part. And I think he'll flourish on Raw. And since they are still going to be doing the Bash in Berlin show late August, they're probably going to shoot for Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov. I think that would be great. So that's what they'll probably end up doing. They'll probably main event that show, more than likely. Moving on. So, we get a promo from Tatum Paxley as to why she took out Lyra Valkyria. So, she says she always wanted to be good. That's every little girl's dream. Fitting in, playing with dolls, living a life like the ones in the fairy tales. But she realized no matter how good she was, nobody wanted to play with girls like her. The cool girls didn't want to be her friends, but she made them. She found one thing that was good to her, as long as I was good to it back, that being, and she talked about the NXT Women's Championship. She talked about Charlotte, Becky, Asuka, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Ripley, Io Shirai, Raquel Rodriguez, and Roxanne Perez, Indy, Becky Lynch, Tiffany Stratton, and Lyra Valkyria. She said that she loved Lyra Valkyria. She wanted her to be the closest thing to good that there was. She was a good girl. She fought hard to keep that championship with Lyra. She was the only one that let her in. That title made us real best friends. We were so close, but then you lost the one thing I love the most, which is the NXT Women's Championship. Lyra, you broke my heart. So, what's Lyra to her now? Nothing. In NXT, Roxanne Perez is the coolest girl in the class, and I can't have that anymore. It needs to be me. Lyra, oh my sweet dove, you're in my way. This was great. I absolutely love this. This was eccentric in a way, and I do like this. I'm very interested in see where this all goes. I know next week, Spring Breaking, is going to be a triple threat between Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne Perez, and Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's Championship. I think what they'll probably end up doing is have maybe Lyra win, and then you have Tatum Paxley and Lyra Valkyria just feud over the title. But this was beautifully done, and I really enjoyed this. This was great. This was absolutely great. And basically, Tatum Paxley's playing the psycho bitch very, very well. Like, she's really out there, and I love it. Moving on. So, Lola Vice, she defeats my girl Sol Ruka with the help of who got involved? Oh yeah, my bad. Blair Davenport. She got involved. So she came out towards the end of the match. She tripped up Sol Ruka. I think Sol Ruka said fuck in the match, so it was great. So she did, I think she said fuck because she bleeped it out. They bleeped it out, so that was cool. And then Lola Vice wins via, I think, some type of submission. So that was great. So glad she won. Actually, no, she won via, fuck, it doesn't matter. She won. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? Lola Vice wins. My girl wins. Post-match, Natalya, she appears on the Titantron. Lola Vice cost Natalya the NXT Women's Championship. She said she's going to return the favor in 2 weeks. They'll meet in NXT Underground, which is great. That's going to kick major fucking ass. This rules. This kicks ass beyond belief. I'm down for this. Sign me up. You guys know I'm not a fan of Natalya. I'm just not. But I love to see her get her ass kicked in this. This is going to be great. Moving on. Ariana Grace and Gigi Dolan. They had a really cool, fun vignette, which I loved. So Ariana, she's going to take Gigi dress shopping. Gigi doesn't, she thinks that Gigi doesn't have the proper dress adequate. She calls her Georgina. So Ariana wants Gigi to strive for universal peace, not the opposite. Maybe Gigi can eventually change her harsh exterior with a new appearance. Gigi still wants to wear the color black. Ariana's having none of that and tells Gigi to open her mind. I love Ariana Grace. Ariana Grace is so good. She's so good. She's a great heel, and I love her character work. When it's her time to get caught up to the main roster, I think she'll succeed. Whether she goes to Raw or SmackDown, and whenever that will be, Ariana, the sky for her is the limit. The sky is the limit for her. It's actually limitless. Because this girl gets it. This girl is solid, and she's super good. I love Ariana Grace. Moving on. So Josh Briggs, he's cleared to compete after he suffered a rib injury at Stand and Deliver. So Ivar tells Josh Briggs that he should take a couple weeks to let the ribs fully heal. When Ivar becomes the NXT North American champion, Josh Briggs can have the first shot. Josh Briggs doesn't want to wait. He tells Ivar to go back to Raw and get his ass kicked by Sheamus again, which was great. So Ivar then challenges Josh Briggs to a match, and then Josh Briggs says that Ivar should put his war paint on, and he'll see him later on. Okay, that's fine there. No harm, no foul. Moving on. So Malik Blade and Idris Enofe, they had a training vignette with Brinley Reese, which was fine. She's just trying to motivate them against the Final Testament, which she didn't do a good job motivating them because they got their asses kicked. Moving on. So Ridge Holland, he defeated Joaquin Wilde. So he wins via the elevated DDT for the 1-2-3, which was nice. So I did enjoy that. That's cool. Moving on. So Thea Hale, she's having a conversation with Andre Chase in the backstage area. Yes, Jacy Jayne wasn't lying about the bet. Andre Chase told Thea Hale. Andre Chase thought that he had everything under control, but what changed was how confident he was that Thea could beat Tiffany Stratton. She could become the youngest women's champion in history. But then he decided to risk it all. Then when he saw Thea Hale crying and writhing in deep pain, he had to throw in the towel. He just wanted her to be okay. So then Thea, she starts to cry a little bit. She regrets the way she treated Andre Chase after the Great American Bash. He's always going to believe in Thea. And then they embrace. And they apologize to one another. So this was great. I actually enjoyed this. This was great. I'm loving some Thea Hale. The Andre Chase storylines were going on for 3 straight years. I'm trying to think, can they keep this on the main roster? Like, would this actually be successful on the main roster? I personally can't answer that question. Me personally, I think this just works in NXT and NXT only. I'm just being honest. I don't see a storyline like this working on the main roster. I just don't. I'm not saying that this couldn't get over on the main roster, but it would be hard. It would be hard as piss to really get something over like this. It would just be hard to get it over. But I'm digging this to see where it goes. Nobody knows. And I wonder, maybe Chase University might get their call up. Maybe. I don't know. But remember, this has been going on for 3 years. So they've been there for a minute. So I don't know. Moving on. So Tony D and the family, they come out. So Tony D just basically talks about what he's done in the past. He's talked about the success of the Angela family. How about how him and Stax were on top a year ago. How they made Pretty Deadly disappear. He was facing some serious allegations. And then he put over Stax and Luca Cristofano. He says that they're ready to crack skulls. And then he put over Adriana Rizzo, saying that she's the future of the NXT Women's Division when she's ready to put her stamp on it. And then he puts over Ilya Dragunov, saying that he was the toughest man that he ever fought in NXT at Stand and Deliver. He said it was a fight, one of the hardest fights he ever had to go through, and he didn't win. And then out of nowhere, Charlie Dempsey comes out. So he just starts to belittle Tony. Tony didn't take too kind to that. He said, you come to my family to take care of one of your own because you guys didn't have the cojones to do it yourself. No problem. We're the experts. And so they continue to bicker back and forth. Charlie Dempsey wanted Tony D to basically pay up. And then Tony D starts to eye the Heritage Cup. And Charlie Dempsey's like, nah, you're not getting that. You're not getting that at all. And then Damon Kemp gets involved and says that he's not paying. They're not paying what they owe. And this is going to be done honorably. And then out of nowhere, there's a quick little fight scene that lasts all of like 5 seconds between all 6 guys. And for whatever reason, when we come back from commercial, all 6 guys are going for the rest of the night, which is weird. Like, I don't even understand, like, why they did that. To me, that was dumb. Like, that was dumb. I mean, I get where they're coming from, but damn. Like, you couldn't let them fight for another, maybe, 20 seconds, at least. Maybe not 20 seconds. Maybe about 10 seconds. Like, damn. But it's fine. So, I'm guessing it'll probably be like a 6-man tag. Well, no, not a 6-man tag. Will probably be a tag match at NXT Break-In. I mean, my bad. NXT spring break-in. I didn't mean to say NXT break-in. My bad. NXT spring break-in. So maybe they'll probably face each other on week 2, which will be fine. So, but it's interesting to see where this is going to lead. Again, Tony D may get caught up. The family, they might get called up, but I doubt it. You could still leave Tony D and the rest of them, Tony D and the family in NXT for another year. I wouldn't do but so many call-ups. That's just me, though. Moving on, so this leads us into Ilya Dragunov. His open challenge was answered by Javon Evans. So basically, a bunch of guys come out. A bunch of nobodies come out. I think it was Lexus King and all that, and a bunch of other guys. Lexus King, he's fallen off quick. He's not done anything in a minute. Like, when he first came through, he was all on television and everything else, and now, being there 2-3 months now, he's not done jack shit. I don't even think he was even at Stand and Deliver, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he was at Stand and Deliver. But Ilya Dragunov, he wins via the Torpedo Moscow post-match. He shakes hands with Evans. So that's great. So this makes sense. Basically, Javon Evans needs a character. He's good. You could pair him with, like, Wes Lee, because that's who he reminds me of, just the darker version of Wes Lee. So whenever Wes Lee comes back from injury, whenever that will be, you could team the two of them up. I don't know, but that's what I would do. But he's solid in ring, but he definitely needs a damn character. So hopefully Shawn Michaels can have some type of character for him, or think of something for him. But solid stuff. Moving on. So Kelly Kinnaid. Actually, no, my bad. So, Kelly Kinnaid, she has a backstage interview with Karen Petrovich. So, she's going to be Natalia's training partner. So, Lola Vice, she interrupts. She says that Petrovich can help her friend all she wants, but Natalya is walking into her world. Natalya may have all the tools, but she can't handle this heat. Just wait until you see who will be in Lola Vice's corner. Lola Vice tells Karen Petrovich that she'll be at her contract signing next week. So whoever's going to be in her corner is going to be there next week. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be Sonya Deville, which actually makes the most sense. So it'll probably be Sonya Deville. I don't know. She might still be injured, but Sonya Deville makes the most sense. I don't know who else you could put in that. Moving on. So Ruka, she's upset. She goes into Ava Rain's office. She needs to put an end to Blair Davenport. So she'll face her next week in a no DQ match. That's fine. So Thea Hale, she defeats... No, my bad. Tatum Paxley gets the win. So, yeah, that's fine. So Tatum Paxley, she gets the win. And then Lyra Valkyria, she comes from behind and she has a little brawl with Tatum Paxley, and they're separated by the officials. So that's fine. It actually makes sense. Pretty good little stuff. Moving on. Kelly Kinnaid, she had a backstage interview with Roxanne Perez. It doesn't matter how obsessed Tatum Paxley is with the NXT Women's Championship or if Lyra Valkyria has a chip on her shoulder. Honestly, they can destroy each other, according to Roxanne. And whatever it takes, whoever makes it out in one piece, she's going to give them a title shot. She said, she said that Ava acts like she has a hard job. So then Ava shows up. She said she's going to make her job even easier. And then she makes a triple threat for the NXT Women's Championship at Spring Break-In. So Roxanne Perez, Lyra Valkyria, and Tatum Paxley. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Not a fan of triple threats. You guys know this. They're boring, but... Well, I mean, they're not boring, but I'm just not a fan of them. So this is fine. So I'm pretty sure Roxanne will probably get called up after this for sure. After all, she did mention it during her promo last week, so take that into consideration. Moving on, the Authors of Pain, they completely destroy and decimate Idris Enife and Malik Blade via the Super Collider. Okay, cool. Ivar defeated Josh Briggs via the Doom Salt for the 1-2-3. That's fine. So he'll be taking on Obafemi. All right, cool. So Kelly Kinnaid had a short interview with Obafemi. He just said interesting. And then when she asked him about Ivar, he said interesting. And then he walked away. Then he shoved the door in the face of Oral Mancha. That was pretty funny. Moving on. The main event of the evening, Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. So before the match, Carmelo Hayes cut a promo saying, Trick, this beef isn't over until he says it is. Next week, you think you're going to be a champion. You think you're going to make it out of this cage in one piece. I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen because I gave you everything. And tonight, I'm taking it all away from your ungrateful ass. So that was great. So, Trick Williams then defeats Carmelo Hayes via the trick shot for the 1-2-3. So, Trick has defeated Carmelo Hayes twice. And it makes perfect sense. Carmelo Hayes is definitely getting caught up to the main roster for sure. So, post-match, Trick Williams, he climbs up on top of the cage. And he stares down Ilya Dragunov, who is sitting in the crowd. And so they have a good little stare-off, and that was it. So NXT was solid. Very good show. Spring Break-In should be interesting for sure. Night 1 looks to be good. I do think that Trick Williams will definitely defeat Ilya. I know that Carmelo more than likely will get involved. Trick will overcome the odds, and he will be the one to send Ilya Dragunov packing to the main roster. And it's also been reported that they are going to turn NXT into a third brand. They're going to be bringing a lot of wrestlers that aren't doing anything on Raw and SmackDown to NXT, which will be fine, which is great. That makes perfect sense. So we should see guys like Cedric Alexander, Ashanti the Adonis, Apollo Crews, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, and others. So we'll see them. We'll probably also get Bronson Reed as well. I think that would be pretty good. He's not going to be doing anything really. I know he's supposed to be doing a little mini feud with Sami Zayn, but after that's done, you might as well just bring him back down to NXT for a while. So they'll probably do that. But they're going to basically try to ramp up NXT and get them ready for the CW when they're going to be switching over from the USA Network onto the CW in the fall, in October. So they only have about 5.5 months to get all their ducks in a row. I think Trick Williams would be perfect as being the face of NXT. He's massively over. People love him. And Shawn Michaels always gives us a good mixture of sports entertainment meets pro wrestling. It's a good bit of work rate meets character work. So that's one good thing that I've always liked about Shawn Michaels. And I think that Trick Williams would be the perfect candidate to lead NXT into the CW. And I think that's what's going to end up happening. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of NXT? Like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.